I got to get mine on 26, I think.
And what is going on, people? Welcome to another episode of the Next Podcast. That is right, guys. It is Thursday. It is prime time. And I got to say, the panel is in rare form. Yo, we got some stuff to talk about. So shout out to the chat, everybody, who gets in here early. And yes, this is a work week episode, so I am a few minutes late. Crispy did not get on my case about it, though, this time, which I really do appreciate. Thank you, brother. But, yeah, so we are live. We got some stuff to talk about, and, we got to get into the intros. But first, guys, the YouTube business side of things, hit that thumbs up button. Share this podcast out wherever you go to talk games, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, I don't know, anywhere that you go and talk games, and let gamers know that we are live right now, and we are going to go in. We are going to go in and talk about Bethesda. We're going to shout out to the Iron Lords as well and their interview with Jason Ronalds. We might talk about the new Switch as well. So there are things to talk about tonight, and like I said, the panel is incredibly energized. So I might as well just get into the intros, and I'm going to start in New England because I swear we damn near hit 70 degrees today. It felt like the end of winter finally, and I think this man who drops that hashtag Crispy Truth is excited about it. Crispy, what is up, bro?
Oh, dude. Bring the bombs, baby. Let's go. Yeah. Freaking K Mega over here just dropping the bombs already. Like, come on, dude. But yeah, we almost hit 70 degrees in my town, which is a little bit up north. It doesn't have that cool breeze coming from the ocean over there. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty incredible because I actually got to open the windows. And what? I mean, in New England, to open the windows, it's like spring's here. Let's go.
Like a holiday. The first day you get to open your windows, man. It's a holiday.
Yeah, dude. And tomorrow's about to be, a little bit lower, but still for us, we can wear shorts and have fun. And I will say this, Big Daddy Phil swinging that big stick, just sitting in bed with Bethesda, like, yeah, oh, we here, and everybody loving each other. So that's all I got to say.
Crispy, that was a horrible, horrible picture that you infused in my brain, and I don't know how I feel about it, but we got to move on. And we're going to go from the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. That is right. This man, he is not afraid to share his opinion. He pisses off Xbox gamers. He pisses off PlayStation gamers. He pisses off the hardcore Ouya crowd as well. Of course, it is Dark Optimus. What is up, brother?
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Thank you, K Mega, for that. Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here tonight, dude. I mean, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it.
Nice.
Oh my God, K Mega.
What? I don't. Do I?
What happened?
I don't know.
He's always got to use that. It's great.
I don't know if they heard it or not.
All right. Next on the list, of course, we are going to the Lone Star State for the most energized panel member tonight. That is right. We are talking about Predator. What is going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, guys? I knew he was going to do that shit. I was laughing so hard. I couldn't stop.
Okay.
I'll keep it just short and sweet, man. I'm happy to be here. I got my COVID shot yesterday or Tuesday. I'm fucking exhausted, but I'm going to ride through this shit.
Nice, man. Yes, you are a soldier, sir. You are a soldier. And finally, we're going to get to the man who has the soundboard, and he is not afraid to use it. That is right, coming live from the 405, my brother K Mega. What is up, brother?
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here. I am going to keep my soundboard at check. There are some people I
Dude,
read
you
in the
said that
comments did
before
not
the
like
show.
it.
You already used it like 10 times, man.
I know I had to get it out of my system, but but I will still use it because there's still people that like me to use it. So I will keep it to a minimum, but there will be some times if there's something that if Crispy or Otter say that's just completely out of bounds, I might have to hit them with something. But other than that, good to be here as usual. And I'm on time because I was expecting it because you said exactly the time that you was going to be on, so it was a good deal. So all right, man, let's get started.
Wow. Wow.
But what happened? What happened?
Well, guys, we can't get into the main topic yet. We got to make sure, we got to get everybody in here and checking out the show
and ready and wet
and stuff. Oh my
Jesus.
dude, I think you're thinking about another podcast that you might be on your channel over there. Yeah. So let's start with the Switch. We never got to talk about the supposed spec leaks for the Switch Pro, aka Super Switch, whatever you want to call it, the upgraded version of the Switch that people really feel could be coming out this holiday season. And when you look at the specs, the first thing that really jumps out is the OLED screen. Now, it's still a 720p screen, but OLED is a definite upgrade over the screen that they're using with the Switch now. Not only that, they're talking about when it's docked, you'll have up to 4K gaming as well. I don't know. Let's go to K Mega on this one, man. He's full of energy, yo. Mega, I know you've seen the leaks. I know you've heard what they might be working on. Do you think that with the OLED, the docking up to 4K, do you think that all that there warrants coming out with a Super Switch or a Switch Pro? What do you think about a possible upgraded Switch? And then what do you think the name should be? Because there's been a couple names kind of bouncing around, man.
I think that it's smart. I mean, people, regardless of how people are really excited about the Switch right now, there's going to be buyers that's like me that wants to see games at higher fidelity and they perform a lot better. Even though most of their games are all 60 frames per second, but it's still, we bought these televisions, and I'm one of these people that when I use the Switch mostly primarily docked. So so for me, it would be important. I mean, I wouldn't mind. It's all about price point, of course. I mean, if it's around $300-400, okay, all right, that's fine. But from just like with everything else with the Xbox and how you got the S and the X, there's going to be some people, or the majority of people, that's going to swing over to the S because of the price point. So it might be, some people might be reluctant, but it's another option. So I think it's smart by them. And on top of that, we're getting at the point to where these games from second and third party are definitely can't be run on the original Switch, and if they do, they're going to be downgraded to nothing. They are pretty much. I mean, if you look at it for like games like The Witcher and Mortal Kombat and stuff like that, they look horrible. So it's even when docked. So it's like one of those things where you want to see the progression grow, and since the Switch is a hot commodity right now, if you just add a enhanced version, it's smart by them. I mean, there will be buyers for sure. I don't know if it's going to be substantial, but it definitely will be some buyers. I know I'll be one of them.
Well, whatever happened to because when Nintendo came out with the Switch, it was already, in terms of like resolution and stuff like that, it was already inferior, right? The whole thing was it's a handheld and stuff. What now? I see people getting excited over the possibility of 4K on the Switch and stuff like that. Like, I thought Nintendo doesn't care about that stuff, man.
Well, no, I mean, it just, people do. Like, people, this is something that we're going to be talking about. I mean, the theme word today is going to be narratives. Because, I mean, that's exactly what a lot of this stuff comes from is from just people making their own opinions, and then they make it into this narrative, and it just spreads like wildfire. No, I mean Nintendo does what Nintendo do, but Nintendo isn't silly. They know exactly to see where the market is going and how games are being developed and what developers want to do with these games and what they want to do with their own games themselves. I mean, it's yeah. When you look at a Mario, I got that Mario Fury, and it looks great on the television, and it looks great. It looks cool on when it's undocked. But I mean, again, when people are buying more and more 4K televisions now, people want to see what they see the benefits of what they paid for. And if you got the Nintendo system, and let's say that you got two or all three of the consoles, right? Well, the majority of people are going to be playing those games mostly on their PlayStation or on their Xbox. They'll be playing the Nintendo exclusives, but they won't be playing those second, third parties. And I think Nintendo wants to jump into that space and say, look, we already got a hot product right here. There's still going to be people that's going to buy just the original Switch once those prices go down, or if those prices go down. I mean, we are dealing with Nintendo, but if the prices
they never go
decide
down.
to go down, yeah, they don't. But I mean, but if the prices go down for the Switch, for the original Switch, and then they got this newer version, then it's gonna like I said, it's gonna benefit. It's smart. And then for some of those games that most likely wouldn't come to the Switch, or maybe developers are not wanting to make games for that particular for the particular Switch, that's also another incentive. Like if people are just primarily just like to play on Nintendo, then if you can get those third party games to come on there and they look good on a 4K television, and they also plays well when it undocked, then I don't see a problem with it at all. I think it's smart by them.
All right.
So they care. They care. They definitely care.
They care. They just
Yeah.
when it comes down to it, they just decided. Yo, I will say, the upgrade in the screen for the handheld going to OLED, I think that was a great choice right there. It'll be a night and day difference in terms.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my goodness, bro. There's not too much to say about that. That's an upgrade in and of itself. Chris V, what do you think about this, brother? Do these kind of like supposed leaks, do they get you kind of like thinking about the possibility of getting a new Switch when it drops?
If I can get one, that's the first part. Second part is we're at 5 years for the Switch coming out. When they're starting to talk about this, and we're starting to, yeah, we're about 5 years. Nintendo, especially when they have a successful console, they actually want to go 10 years. So this is a mid-gen refresh. I feel like there will be some kind of announcement. Maybe it's not this year because of COVID, because they've been kind of hampered on production and everything else. But it's possible that at Christmas time this year, you have a Switch Pro come out. Now, for having a 720p screen, the one thing I will say is that Samsung, if Nintendo allows them, has a lot of technology. If they have, certain chips involved that, they use through their phones to be able to, up-res it. That's number one. Number two, if it's docked, I would hope if you're going to put out a new console, a new iteration, a next-gen refresh, as I like to call it, you need to have at least 1440p. And it might not be frames per second status, because at this point, the only one that's really pushing frames per second is Xbox. And that's what they really want you to have the option to do. Nintendo doesn't really need to do that because most of their exclusives can run at 60 FPS at 1440p. Because they're a lower image quality compared to most. So, they've really used the assets they already have, and they continue to build upon it. The one thing I will say is I feel like these third-party games, especially, when you've seen games from Bethesda come onto the Switch at some point, and then all of a sudden just taking that away from people, even though they haven't run great at times. You know what Phil said, the Game Pass model, if they have the app for Game Pass, they can play it. And that goes down to the cloud servers and everything else. That's where I go and say, I feel like Phil's little shelf there might actually have some fruition to it. I don't know yet. We all don't know, but I feel like Nintendo lacks the back end infrastructure to be able to produce or even, hold on to games that are coming out from developers like PlayStation or Xbox for the foreseeable future. And on top of that, the third parties are building games that cannot be sustained on Nintendo. And because their exclusives are so clamored and they literally sell 1-to-1, why not allow people like myself who love playing other games that might involve different ecosystems to be able to purchase your console? Because at this point, I mean, they're getting close to, they might surpass PlayStation by the end of their generation, not PlayStation's generation. Their generation, they're probably going to surpass PlayStation for 2 generations, it feels like, because now they've moved on. And the same goes for Xbox, of course, because Xbox is behind at this point. So I feel like they would be the ones that would say, you know what, Xbox is playing ball with a lot of people that you wouldn't think, and they're trying to help them. And it might not, you could look at it through a glass house and be like, they're not helping them at all. But in realism, because Nintendo, they have such great exclusives to certain people and enough people to be already
they have great
like
exclusives. Don't even say to certain people. They have great exclusives, man.
Yeah, but to me, it's old. To me, it's all old.
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that there's no value there. What I'm saying is that for me to get into the realm, I need something a little bit more than what they're giving right now or what they're showing us. And it starts with a better console, and then on top of that, it starts with kind of collaborating with people that have been nice to you, which is kind of Xbox.
Crispy.
Everybody else has been really nice.
Crispy, all I gotta say is, out of everybody on the panel, you would be the one that take a Super Switch topic and swing Xbox right into it, man. So that was perfect. That was perfect. Yeah. But I will definitely agree with you on the whole third party thing and kind of the multi-plat games. They really had a hard time getting games running. Some of them, like Witcher, when they got Witcher running on the Switch, people didn't even think that was possible, and they did a lot. They did a lot of cutting. I guess you say cutting corners and stuff like that to get that game running on the Switch. So having a more powerful Switch out there. Just Crispy, real quick with what you said on that. Do you think that eventually, like, the newer Switch would phase out the older one over time then? Or
I think that's Nintendo's plan because they want to sell the console. I just hope that, like, if they're going to bring out a premium, in their eyes, a premium product, bring it out, the right way, make sure the Joy-Cons aren't drifting at times. Like, and this is not through one iteration, it's through multiple iterations that they've had this problem. They continue to do it. So, like, bring out a premium, because you have to understand, like, the Switch is like, the Joy-Cons are like literally a part of the Switch. Like, there's a difference between buying another controller and buying another Joy-Con, because
you can buy a pair of Joy-Cons, like,
but you can't buy any Joy-Cons in the light, and they literally put that into the light.
All right, well, yeah,
they put the same technology that's in their Joy-Cons of the original into the light, and the light, you cannot replace those. So I feel like they are bringing out iterations for different aspects, just kind of like Xbox is doing with the Series X and the Series X. The only difference is that literally if your controller breaks, you could be like, oh, I have the warranty or whatever, and I could send it back, or you just buy another controller for $60.
Or if you
You
have
know
an
what I
Xbox
mean?
One controller lying around, you could just use that instead.
As well, and and that's the whole point. Like, I feel like they're on the right path to like bring. I mean, if a Switch Pro comes out, I'm going to be interested. That's my point. Like, I'm going to be interested, but I want to see what back end deals they do to try to make some of these third party games really like pop even on a 720p screen. Like, do you have some kind of way to make them pop? And I feel like Xbox already has the way for them. And they've been nicey nice with them. And it's like, I don't know, like Phil having that Switch sitting up there. I'm like, dude, like, I just feel like Nintendo's like, screw it. Like, you don't get our exclusives. Well, we'll allow your Xbox app there. Like, we're fine with that. And I just feel like they would do that. I really do.
Well, speaking of popping, like this game that's being played right now, Dirt 5, I gotta say, like I really have no idea what Digital Foundry was saying about the look of this game and the feel of this game. This game is so much fun, and as you can see, like one of the things that's really cool about this game, look at the reflections in the puddles on the ground. Like
And the weird thing about it is I could see that through my phone right now. You know what I'm saying? So and you have to realize I have an iPhone that has a Samsung screen, and that's where I go and say, they're gonna put it at the, they can put it at the lowest value possible, which is 720p, because they want battery life on the Switch. But that doesn't mean that it's not capable of more. You know what I'm saying? But is the docking actually going to have a little power involved rather than just using the Switch itself? That would be cool.
That's a good question. Like with the docking, because when rumors about the Switch first started coming out, and they said about docking and like kind of like upping the resolution when it's on the TV and stuff, we all thought there was technology in the dock itself that kind of like connected. I remember there was a supposed rumor that the more of these devices that you had plugged into a dock, like the more powerful it would be to run on your television. Now that didn't happen, but that would be interesting, man. That'd be very interesting. But let's get Predator in on this. Predator's a huge Nintendo fan. He's probably wearing either his Mario hat or his Luigi hat that he wears like all the time. Pred, what do you think about the specs for the new Switch? I don't know what to call it. I hope they call it Super Switch and kind of like use the Super Nintendo like font style and stuff like that on it. But what do you think, man? Is that a big enough leap? Would you be interested in an OLED and up to 4K gaming on your TV Switch?
No. Like I had the Switch when it first came out, and I've outgrown that style of games they have on there. Like everything that I would want to play on the Switch, I can play on my Xbox. So like they have some fun exclusives. I love Mario Kart. Zelda was kind of to me, but
Mario Tennis, baby. Mario Golf. Come on, man.
I can play real golf. So like, I'd rather play the golf that I have on Xbox that we play all the time. Like those games and those styles of games they have on the Switch, for me at my age, that just doesn't appeal to me. So like, will I pick it up for my daughter? Yeah, she loves Nintendo. So like, of course I'll get something like that for her. But for me, myself as a gamer, a lot of those titles I've just outgrown. Like, like Mario, like that was great when I was a kid, but I moved on to bigger and better things. Zelda was probably their best game to me on the Switch, and I didn't even enjoy that one as much as I thought I was going to. So like, I don't know. And part of it is like the controller itself.
Oh,
like,
damn.
Just holding it in my hands, it just doesn't feel comfortable to me. When I got the Switch Pro controller, and I tried to play, like it kind of takes that away from like the whole playing, as a handheld. Now you have to dock it. I mean, like, I don't know. I just the games itself on there won't won't sway me to picking it up. I don't want to spend another $300 to play an advanced version of Mario, an advanced version of Zelda, advanced version of Mario Kart. Like I'd rather them just put that shit on PC, like let me play on that or something. But the console itself, and there's other parts of that too, like we don't think about, like if I'm gonna have a handheld like that, I want more functionality out of it. I just don't want it to be a gaming system. I want to be able to surf the web on it. I want to be able to watch Netflix on it. I want to be able to, do other things on something that's gonna cost us the basically like the price of a small laptop. Like give me the functionality of it. Like let me be able to text people, that kind of thing. So like if it's just basically the Switch with a new screen and nothing else has been upgraded other than maybe making the screen like the resolution a little better, maybe it might be a little faster with loading stuff, but like if that's all I'm getting out of it, I'll just keep the Switch. I'll keep the Switch Lite, whatever the hell it's called now. I'd rather just have that. It's probably be cheaper, but like there's not enough games coming out on there, like exclusive games, I'll say recently, at a volume, I guess I'll say it that way, that are going to keep me entertained with it, that I'm interested in. So I'm not going to pick it up just because it's new. Because I'm still going to be playing the same fucking games on it anyway. It's just going to look a little bit better. But 4K doesn't matter to me with the Switch. To me, I'd rather play it as a handheld. And if I can't really enjoy it as a handheld, why buy it?
All right, I got you, man. And dude, I just
Give me your fucking money!
wow. Yo, Viper, you are absolutely ridiculous. Yo, shout out to RG Viper X. Don't you dare go crazy tonight, bro. But hitting up that super chat, man, and going dark red on it, bro. Dark red. He said starting the super chat right and breaking pony legs tonight. Xbox has the games, brother. They do have the games. You are absolutely incredible. As you can see, guys, the super chat definitely works. RG Viper X put it through its paces. Oh my goodness. Shout out to you, bro. Yo, Dark, you got to follow up that super chat. I hope you're ready, man. What do you think about these specs for the new Switch Pro or whatever you want to call it, man?
Honestly, I really don't care, man. I'm so done with the Switch, to be honest. They just keep giving us ports. They keep doing this and that, and it's like, dude, there's no games that they're putting out right now that I'm like, I want to play that, Like, I mean, maybe if they ever put out Bayonetta 3 or Metroid, the next Metroid game, maybe,
Kind
but
of
like
sucks
right
that
now.
Metroid went back to the beginning.
Yeah, I went
Get
back to the
redeveloped.
drawing board. So
Yeah.
it's like, dude, we're at the point right now where it's like I'd rather just play on, my other consoles, my Xbox or my PlayStation. Because like right now, like Bravely Default was terrible. Like I bought it, didn't like it. Um, I wouldn't say it's terrible. I would say more like it's very grindy. It goes back to the old style of JRPGs where they were really grindy, and that's how this one is, and then just I don't like it. Um, and then Monster Hunter Rise is coming out at the end of the month, but then you got to think about it like what's coming out like a couple days after that, Outriders, and I already know like I'm definitely gonna put some time into Outriders, so you know I gotta kind of be like, well, I think I'm gonna play more of Outriders than I will Monster Hunter Rise, so I'm gonna go and get Outriders instead. Um, I mean, I I hope eventually they'll with the new specs and well with the rumored specs
Yes.
and the new console, it'll bring those games up to par with some of the games that we're playing right now. But I mean, I don't see it being that big of a leap or that big of a deal to the point to where I see more people getting into Nintendo than ever before. I think it'll probably still stay the same as
You know what,
much as it has been.
Dark?
Um,
I think the biggest benefit if these specs are like true, the
mhm.
biggest group that will benefit from these are the ones who play their Switch in the handheld mode, because I think that having the
Well,
OLED,
that's the thing. The it's still gonna be 720p though.
but
So it's still gonna.
it's gonna be a lot better quality, man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still if you're not gonna really tell that much of a difference, dude. To be honest, like you're not. Like the
Over an
way you're gonna tell a
LCD?
difference, if the way you're gonna tell a difference is when you put it in dock mode, and it'll be on it'll be at 4K. That's when you're really gonna tell a difference. I really don't think you're gonna tell a difference, because I mean the OLED screen, yeah, it's better. It's a better screen, of course. Granted, yeah. I really don't think you're gonna tell much of a difference though when you're playing a handheld. I think this is more gonna be for the hardcore people who play it on when they play it docked. They play their games docked, and I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm probably wrong, more than
Yo,
likely.
Dark, check this out.
Um,
Dark, check this out. Well, first off, RG Viper X decided he was gonna double down on the dark red super chat, and he put in another one. Yo, shout out to you, brother, for the support, bro. Man, don't spend your rent or anything, brother. I'm saying, but he said Nintendo has 10 years before they sell to Microsoft. It's a wrap. Wait, what do you think? Is there a chance there?
doubt that, dude. That'll never happen. Honestly, Nintendo, I could never see Nintendo ever selling. They do so well. I mean, it might just be me. I'm out of the Nintendo space. But I don't think I don't. They're doing so well with the Switch that there is no way that they're gonna throw all that power that they have that Nintendo has to an American company. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
All right, brother. Let's see. It seems like everybody wants to go into different topics here, and
I'm
Eating
just
taters. Eating taters.
I'm just tripping out
Taters.
about
Eating
just-
taters.
yeah, man. You made you cleaning up. Ah,
What are you
damn.
talking about, bro? I don't,
I'm talking about the super chat. Congratulations, bro.
Yo, Viper, you are an insane man.
He's holding back the
Hardcore-
tears. I'm telling you right
hardcore
now.
supporter.
No,
Like, I can't even. I don't even know what to say right now, bro.
That's awesome.
But let's talk about some little news that just kind of broke recently. It seems that the ZeniMax deal with Microsoft and Xbox is officially done. All right, United States signed off on it, Europe signed off on it, and now ZeniMax, all the developers under ZeniMax, id Software, Bethesda, Machine Games, you go on and on. They are all first-party Xbox studios now. This is absolutely insane. And of course, as soon as that started, as soon as that was finalized, people started with the whole exclusive debate again. And you guys know what side of that line I was on. I felt there was no issue having certain games still be multi-plat and offering them in Game Pass, possibly extra content, stuff like that. And then, of course, newer titles that were coming out, kind of, getting that exclusive, the exclusive moniker, the exclusive title when it comes to the Xbox platform. But, yo, Mega, what there was a round table today or something, man? Would you care to explain what happened in this show and what's going on with the exclusive nature of Bethesda, id Software, these studios and Xbox, bro?
You have another top. You have another.
Oh damn! Shout out to the friendly neighborhood blue shell brother hitting up that super chat. Thank you so much for the support. He said, "Oh man, for K for K Mega gameplay and his future words about a certain topic." I think we're getting into that certain topic right about now, right?
He
Mega?
basically just said you're worth $20, okay, Mega? That's what he said.
You know what? Hey, that's all right. That's all right. I can live with that shit. I can, I mean, that's fine.
I mean, you'll never see any of that money, but
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, but that's
Wow, is that what the fade off with the words? Yeah, it's fine.
yeah. I mean, yeah. That's. I'm over here. My pocket is over here saying,
Help me!
anyway, no, but
Dude,
that's
that
anyway.
used to be my ringtone for whenever Snaps used to call me. That was my ringtone, man.
Oh my God. Anyway, so no, okay. So
Callie.
basically, the whole situation that happened. We was waiting for we was waiting for some kind of event or whatever, and then it was basically the finalization of Xbox and Bethesda, and those guys were talking. The unfortunate thing is that I didn't get to hear everything because I was doing so much other stuff. So, but the things that I did hear was the most crucial, which was basically the thing that I think everybody wanted. People wanted clarity. And when we did Devin the Gamer last night, or the other night, it was basically, that's what I was trying to point out, was just, let's just be patient. There's something that's going to be coming out where they're going to discuss it. There's people should just wait to see what they're going to say then. I know there was a lot of people that are already anticipating that all these situations of what's going to be exclusive and what's not, and because of the whole word "some" and how that's become its own entity, and I'm just glad that got shot down directly. Like, all the basically these games are going to be exclusive on Xbox and Game Pass. So pretty much in PC. So what's this means is that the only way the PlayStation is going to be able to get these games that aren't under some kind of contract, basically like Deathloop and the Tokyo. I can never think
like
of
the two games that are already under contract.
Yeah, I can never.
Ghostwire Tycoon.
Yeah, Ghostwire
Tokyo.
Yeah.
You said Tycoon.
No, and that game looks really dope. I'm really excited about that game. But those are the only two that we know right now. And I think that there's still people that wants to have hope and anticipation that maybe Starfield can still go to PlayStation, because PlayStation was trying to go after that title. And now, since it's kind of been official, because Phil just broke out and just said, look, no, I mean, this is ours. This is why we spent the money for this studio and for this company and all their studios to be up under Xbox's umbrella. They belong to us now. And there were some that wanted to still have hope, but that just got taken away. And so now there's people that wants to say, oh, well, Sony probably didn't want that trash anyway. No. Obviously, this game must have been important, because Sony is not going to put that money up to try to get some kind of, timed exclusivity if the game wasn't at that potential point to where to get Sony fans excited. So this makes me even more excited for Starfield. And we haven't even seen anything
We
with
haven't
it.
seen anything.
Anything, but that should tell you something right there. I mean, so it's an amazing thing. The one thing that I was trying to start off with was basically, is what I said on Devin the Gamer, was that people have to wait and be patient, because they couldn't make those deals until the ink was dry. There was people like, why are we just not finding out anything? You can't make all these decisions before they make any before this is finalized, because what if something happens to where it all falls apart and they can't acquire them? So then all that stuff, all that manpower, all that time spent doing all of that when they could be working on something else is just completely just washed away. They can't make up that time. So it's best to decide right now what games are going to be officially exclusive and what games aren't. And from the understanding of what Phil said was that, look, this is it. This is it.
I've seen people saying that he did say that some kind of like legacy titles or something like that will stay multi-plat. Was that in the show at all that you know of?
Yeah.
Or
They did say
No, that not that I know of. I mean, they might have. Like I said, I didn't watch the entire show, so there might be things that I missed. But from my understanding is that, the thing that what I posted was what Phil said when he stuck his chest out with. He put some emphasis behind what he said, and that was the word exclusive, and that in Xbox and Bethesda, which makes it clear that they're not gonna play no games. They're about being serious, and that also makes what's the beauty of this too is that they've been listening for so long, and the way that Phil said it, it was like a burden was lifted off his chest. Like he's been waiting to say this for a really long time. Like that stupid ass narrative about Xbox having no games or no AAA bangers or no exclusives is dead officially. It's put in the dirt because when you have all of those studios, including everything else that Xbox has, and they're still going to get some more studios. It's done. It's done.
I just want one more studio. I just want.
I think they're going to get 2 more studios, and then that's it. They don't really need anything
I just want
after
them to
this.
get Sega. That's all.
I think what the Sega thing is going to be is a partnership. So Persona and other games. Look, I don't know. I know from everything that we've heard is that they're going really big on that. Another thing I think people need to be paying attention to is this low key, and that's something that we'll be talking on GRG tomorrow. Is this low key deal that they're working with Disney, like that? I mean, if you looked at it from like all of a sudden when they were trying to, and I thought it was more for the try to get people to get invested into the Game Pass stuff and stuff like that. But then you get a free month of Disney Plus, and I'm like, oh, okay, they just want people to try to get invested to get in Game Pass so they can get these perks. But then when you see the commercial and you see Falcon. And you were like, yo, hey, what's going on here? And then all of a sudden I seen an article where they're basically talking about, and I guess you missed that article because I posted it in Next too, where they were saying that there's some rumblings out there going on saying that Disney and Microsoft or Xbox is working on some things together. So if those things happen, which it already looks like it has when you see when you see that ad.
Everybody says that Xbox needs a superhero game, kind of like what PlayStation has. So
yes, yeah, and then you get that, and then you get these 1 or 2 studios, or just another huge studio to add to everything else that Microsoft has, that the Xbox has. There's nothing else anybody can say. I mean, they've listened to every aspect of what everybody has been asking for from Xbox. People said they wanted those RPGs back. Well, they've got some of the best Western RPGs out there. They said that they want some classic studios to come to be picked up. Well, you got that. You're going to get new IPs. You got Indiana Jones coming. You got all different types of titles that's coming and stuff that we don't even know that's coming yet. Plus already we already know that they're working with studios and developers out there in Japan. They're bringing more Japanese games here. They're working with China. They're bringing Chinese games to the Xbox on top of what the Xbox is doing. Plus you got the S, and then you got xCloud. You got all of these things just wrapped up. They have been waiting. They have been waiting. Ever since Phil got in there, he had to buy his time because things take time to work. But now we're starting to see the fruits of it, and it's becoming to be pretty damn major. They're becoming a beast overnight. Like I thought they needed to get through this first year until we start seeing everything that Xbox was going to give out. But now, I mean, I think people are already seeing the writing on the wall that this is going to be a really big year for Xbox.
All right, so
or generation, I should say.
So people in the chat are saying like legacy games mean games that are already out, like Fallout 76. If that's the case, all right, I got you on that one. Because, guys, I'm still trying to grasp at the possibility that I could have been right in some of these instances because like I said, I thought they would keep the core Fallout multiplat. Make money across the board that way, but come out with like New Vegas 2 only for Xbox and kind of play the field as they went. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I personally thought, like I said this to Don the other night, was like, look, I'm not even going to get mad if like there's games that still has because their trilogies or their stories are still not done. So basically, like we think of Wolfenstein, for instance, the Wolfenstein story is really not done. So if those games still went over to PlayStation, I can see that, and then they start over with something new with Wolfenstein, like do something past the protagonist and his children or whatever, or his children become like the very new protagonist, and they start that, and then that becomes exclusive. I'll be cool with that, but it seems like they're just like, hey, get Game Pass if you want to get this stuff, and like I was told Don, it was like, look, my pettiness wanted this. Now the business side of it was thinking of, what, I can get that, but I do assume, I do think that there are going to be games that's going to stay on the Xbox, that's going to be the bigger titles, and then there'll be some that'll go over. But no, I think that Phil and them was just deciding, look, man, it's time to be petty. So I mean, we spent the money to be petty, so let's do it. And I'm happy about that. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Why are you so happy about it, bro?
Well, because of the fact of
console wars.
Yeah, no, not the console war. It's the fact of it's the thing that where Sony and the people that represented Sony used it for ammo for their successful last gen, and instead of trying to play the nice role and say, look, no, it's, what, it's not even like, no, they fed the fire. They kept on throwing more gasoline on the fire. And then not really, and I think that they might have thought that Xbox was probably on their way out. And so they were like, we're just going ahead and just finish them off, so we know that we don't really got no other competition except for Nintendo, and we cool.
They got close, man.
But
yeah,
close. I mean, no, and they got real close. But because and that's the one thing that PlayStation fans just don't understand is how close that Xbox was becoming maybe what Sega is, or maybe just being bought out by maybe Apple or Amazon or something else, and that could have been something completely different. So what Phil has done, that's why people talk about Phil so much, is because he saved the brand. And for being in the position that Xbox was in to now, and I mean, this is only like in the span of what, 4 or 5 years? The Dreamcast was around, and look what happened to Sega. Nintendo was in really bad shape, but because their fan base is still loyal, they had it. When Sony was going through their bad things, they had to do all types of changes. This was amazing to me to see Xbox being in the position that they were in and still sell 50 plus million consoles, and now being at the point of buying all the stuff that they have. Like, that's amazing to me, and that's why Phil gets this credit, and for all the staff and everybody that he's added to the staff to get them to this point. So I think that they do deserve to get the props.
I got you, brother. I got you. There is somebody on this panel that I know he's foaming at the mouth, getting ready for this topic, and we are gonna get to him. But I want to get to Predator real quick before he has to drop out of here. Pred, you heard the whole thing, Bethesda, exclusive games, Xbox, done deal. Dude, what are your thoughts here, and is this exactly what you expected them to do once they finalize this deal?
The last part of your question, yes, that's exactly what I expected them to do. Like, just going through history with them when they've acquired stuff like I always say Mojang. I've been saying it wrong forever. Mojang, how do they say it on the show? Mojang. Like, you still get some of those games, that they've, purchased. You still get them on the other systems, because they've already been there. That's what legacy means. Like, they're there already. They're going to continue to support them because they're already there. So you talk about games like Elder Scrolls, Online, and Fallout 76. Those games, the service games, are going to stay on there. They're going to continue to support those. And then obviously, like you said, the contractual stuff like, Ghostwire and Deathloop are still going to be, held to the standards they were going to do before Microsoft purchased them. The ink is dry, like 2 days ago. So anything that happened before that, I know people were kind of speculating, like the way it sounded like Microsoft and Bethesda really didn't do anything, like there was still a possibility, putting air quotes up there, that this deal wasn't going to go through. So Bethesda had to continue to, business as usual for them. They had to act like and pretend as if something may not happen. They may not get acquired by Microsoft. So they still had to do their job as Bethesda or ZeniMax, should I say. So like once that shit got signed, and once they got approved by the Europe, that's when everything kind of the ball started rolling. So I don't really think they had a lot of stuff going on too much anyway behind the scenes as far as what they're going to do. And the way it kind of played out on the podcast, whatever you want to call it today, was like, they had spoke, but they didn't really get into the weeds about what they were going to do, And I'm sure, like, Phil had, some ideals, and they had, they bumped elbows a couple of times on some things too. But, I think at the end of the day, maybe there was a 90% possibility for sure that shit was going to go through. And so I'm sure they kind of pushed things forward. But I thought that, like, the show was really good. I liked how they initially came out, like, straight from the jump. This is the question we've been asked. We're going to give you an answer. And they gave it, and despite what everybody's saying, oh, well, he didn't say this, he didn't say it this way, like, to try to break down the words, like, stop trying to, like, look too deep. Like, those games are going to be exclusive to Microsoft. You're going to get, like I said, your legacy games, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76, the contractual stuff is still going to stay with PlayStation. But everything else, I think, is going to come straight to Microsoft. And if you want it, just like Phil said, it's going to be in our ecosystem, and anything that has Game Pass, it's going to have those games as exclusives. So that's it. And that end the conversation. Like, I don't understand why people are still having a hard time trying to reword this shit. Like, I've been seeing on Twitter all day, like, he didn't say it this way. Like, dude, it's
shout out to my brother Enrique from Enrique from Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Like, the kind of, like, spin that's going out there. He's like, well, maybe they'll just call it Game Pass then, instead of Xbox and all that good stuff. And it's like, come on, bro. Come on, man.
The only way that I joke about this, I said this on Twitter a couple of times in the chat, like, the only way those games are going to come to Sony is if Sony allows Game Pass on, PlayStation. And that's it.
I think, and I think that's what they kind of, like, alluded to. They're like, hey, you got to have Game Pass on the device, and then you'll have these games. Like, they're not saying, it's not going on there.
Everyone's not thinking about, like, even, let's say, like, and I don't think Microsoft would do this, but it would be an awesome dick move if they did. Like, even if they decided they're gonna put a game on Sony, they can make them wait a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say they say, okay, I fully expect at least one game that we're not thinking about is going to go to Sony, right? But that don't mean it's going to go day and date. They can make them wait a year. Like let's say the next Elder Scrolls comes out. Let's say Starfield, because that's the one everybody's talking about and no one knows anything about. Let's say they're going to put Starfield on there because they have a contractual agreement with Sony already that we don't know about, right? They could make them wait to put it on the system. Like, I think that's a bad example because I say contractual agreement. But let's say Starfield's going to go because, Sony's made it multi-plat or whatever. But they could still make them wait a year to put it on that system. They're still within, the guidelines of what they were saying. So, like, it don't have to be day and date. They can still put some of these games on Sony. But I don't want to put that bug in people's head, though. But, like, I really honestly think a lot of those games, most of those games are going to be exclusive except for the shit that he said, the legacy stuff and the ones they already have contracts with. So that's it. I don't want to construe anybody's mind thinking that, oh yeah, but I honestly think that there might be one game that we're not thinking of that's probably going to go, but everything else is going to go to Xbox. It's going to stay exclusive to Xbox. So the rest of the show is really well done. I like how they went down each company under the ZeniMax and kind of discussed a couple of things. I kind of dozed off after that. Once Phil dropped that bomb, I kind of tuned out because that's what everybody's waiting on. I really hate that people are still hanging on to that little hinge, that it's gonna, all those games are still gonna be, they're gonna be multi-plat. I really don't think that's gonna happen, guys. I think you guys need to chill out.
Yo, Pred, our brother Albert G over here, man, he is reaching right now. Like, he even asked the question, do you think Bethesda will have physical games, or are they all just gonna be on Game Pass, like digital? Like, bro, really?
Why would they not?
Good grief, man.
Yo, that is That is a reach and a half, Albert. Come on, bro. You're better than that, man. Come on.
Why
Yeah,
was
I
that the
even
only
seen
way?
today that the people was separating Game Pass from Xbox now.
Yeah, I
Like
seen
the
that
two
too.
into the same. And I'm like, what are you what
Like yeah, like
huh?
even like before, like people were talking about, oh, they're gonna have this. Like they made it seem like ZeniMax itself was gonna be its own entity next to Xbox. You guys remember that part? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it like that. I mean, like no, they're under like and so like because they said it that way, they're like, oh well, those games are gonna be multi-plat because they're not actually Xbox. They're just their own entity under the Microsoft umbrella. I'm like, no, like stop it. Like all these conspiracy theories you guys are going through, like at some point, you guys have to accept it. The shit happened, you know, like
Yeah,
and for some
yeah.
reason everybody seemed like when I saw it, like when it actually the ink got signed, you know, right? I was like, why is everybody acting like this wasn't gonna happen? Like you guys act like this is brand new. We've been talking about this for like 5 months now.
Mhm.
Like, let it go. So I think now that they've gotten this deal done, um, that opens a door for other deals. I think they really wanted to get this one knocked out first before they start talking about other acquisitions. So
Right.
they got this ink signed. I think we'll start hearing about the other stuff that we've been hearing rumors about coming out here pretty soon. So I'm excited
Wow.
about their summer event too. So I can't wait for that.
Oh man, and
And I'm hearing something about March 26th. Like there's supposed to be something else too. That's probably another rumor that's out there, but I'll throw
really.
it out there too. Yeah, I saw that earlier too.
Yeah, Jez dropped that.
Yeah.
Yo, Albert, bro, any question is good, but really, like that seems like a reach right there. You talking about they're gonna stop making consoles and just have the Game Pass app or whatnot. Like, dude, I think all these companies would love to stop putting money into R&D and manufacturing and stuff when it comes
Can
to
I
consoles.
trash that real quick? Can I trash that real quick? Why would if Microsoft's such a service-based company, why would they have made the Surface? Explain that to me. So the whole point is that they are trying to put all their hands in every cookie jar, and that's what they do. They've been doing that as a company for decades. They try to put their hands in every cookie jar. Does it always work? Absolutely not. Streaming, freaking whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I mean? They do it. And sometimes it doesn't work, but they keep going with it. And unfortunately for people, that you don't realize that, Microsoft can spend money and not make money and still say, you know what, we're going to continue to try, and we're going to try to push innovation. We're going to try to do things that nobody else can do. And that's what they do. And you know what? Kudos to them, because, I used to feel like Google used to do that, and they don't. Clearly, they've basically thrown Stadia to the wall. They said, we're done. We can't do it anymore. And that's the weird thing. They're a huge company, but they still care about the people that are in their ecosystems. They still freaking care.
All right,
And you know what?
What?
It's just it's sad that people look at Microsoft and think it's just this huge billion-dollar company, but you have people working under that company that actually give a shit, and that's the whole point.
All right, now check this out, Albert. Just real quick before I move on to the next panel member and this huge huge Bethesda news. All right, you're saying that Microsoft and Xbox, they don't profit from their consoles. Very, very, very rarely does any company make any money off the consoles that come out. They make the money by selling games and services. Okay, so they're basically, they put a hub out there that they're able to sell you games and services. That's what a console is. All right, so there is no company out there that is making money hand over fist selling consoles. All right, they make their money selling games and services, and that right there would tell you that
Controllers.
Oh yeah, controllers as well. Then Xbox loves their controllers, man. I swear. But But that right there will tell you, you have so many millions of people that have an Xbox. Okay, that's still a community that's buying your games and your services. All right, monthly subscriptions, stuff like that. So, brother, you're gonna have to try a bit harder, man. I'm just saying. Let's go to Crispy. Let's go to Crispy on this whole Bethesda thing. Now, Crispy, you said you watched the whole round table and you liked what you saw. Let me know kind of like your highlights, and is this actually real? Is like all Bethesda games now going to be exclusive to the Xbox platform, aka Game Pass, which I also like as well because I'm a huge Game Pass fan, and you can see how motivated they are into creating Game Pass to be the place to play your games. But go ahead, Crispy.
Well, you have to realize about that tomorrow you will have 20 more games on Game Pass.
Dude, yeah, dude. I could start downloading them now. You can play them now.
Yes, you can.
Holy shit.
Okay.
Yo.
And all right, because I watched the whole show, and number one, not only was Aaron Greenberg was arguing with Aaron, the vice president of marketing for Bethesda, like a little tit for tats type like commentary, but they still were smiling at each other and they were loving it because like she's very knowledgeable. I almost think that she brought this way of doing it, especially in COVID times and everything else, like to have people at least in the same room was actually very enlightening for me. Number one. Number two, Todd Howard and Phil are like best friends. I'm sorry. Like,
damn, you're gonna
Todd
go out
Howard,
on that limb, best friends?
Dude, I'm telling you, he's said multiple times in that one round table that he has bounced ideas off of Phil.
Oh my goodness, brother! They are already in Game Pass. I just went into Game Pass. All the games are in there already.
Dude, they're not messing around, dude. This
Holy shit.
Dude, this is. God damn it! I love it, but I hate it at the same time. But
welcome to my world, Crispy.
Seriously, I felt like, and I'll tell you right now, Pete Hines, you could just be the face of Xbox. I'm fine with that. The guy knows how to talk to people. He knows how to get shit out, or at least make it seem like you're getting shit out of people that you didn't think you were going to hear. And he just does it so well. And even the voiceover at the little tidbit we got, a day and a half ago, it was incredible. The fan service, that was the whole point. They love their fans, and you can say what you want, but there are some huge Bethesda fans that love what they have brought to the table. And then on top of that, they really gave a huge fan service, and Phil went absolutely crazy after that and just started talking off the cuff, I feel like, about id Software and id Tech and everything else and how it can be implemented into Xbox itself.
No, into first-party games. Like,
he was so adamant about how great the things they do and how meticulous and how incredible they make the visuals feel, not necessarily just look, but feel. And he was really adamant. He went in about 5 minutes about that. And what I say is that, especially here on Next, I always feel like family with these guys. Even though we talk shit to each other, we throw shade, we do whatever the hell we want. But I felt like I watched a family kind of come together when they could finally act like it's actually happening. You know what I mean? And it's happening. It's done. And now they could sit there and be like, okay, now we got thoughts. And many of them have said, you have no clue what we're even doing. And on top of that, Todd Howard, which I was surprised about because he's very like poker face, very poker face. He got a smile to his face when he started talking about Game Pass and how the capabilities of Game Pass can allow them to do things that they never thought they could do. And that's out of context completely, but that's basically what he said if you go and watch it. And it's pretty incredible that they feel that way after all these years. And for Phil and even Aaron's been there forever, and then Matt Booty talking about it and everybody else, like they want to learn from each other. And I feel like Bethesda could put on a better show than Xbox could as far as what we expect. But at the same time, Xbox can allow them, but use them when they want to. When they say, you know what, you're better at this. And I felt like that the whole time. Like, even though it was just a round table and we didn't see anything really new or anything, I felt like they did exactly what I wanted them to do. Show, every Bethesda fan what Xbox is capable of, because all these devs went and said, oh, I'm excited to be a part of this now. And they're not saying, like, oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, you have Bethesda being like, Xbox has provided us with so many realms into the console ecosystem that they are just a match made in heaven. And the fan service, I always felt like Xbox actually cared, no matter who it was. I've had somebody that's in the Xbox ecosystem that's relevant at least say something to me at some point when I was upset. And that's what I feel like Bethesda has done over the years. And they screwed up, and Todd Howard even admit 76 was not what we wanted it to be, but the community is great. And that's how I feel about Gears. A lot of people don't like Gears, but you know what? The community is
I
great.
feel like you were talking to me on that one. Like I like the Gears campaign, the story. I don't get into the multiplayer.
I love how he snuck Gears.
And I'm kind of vice versa, but that's the whole point. Instead of like sitting there trashing you about, not playing the multiplayer, it took me months to play the fucking campaign through. So instead of doing that, Bethesda acts like every gamer has an opinion that matters. And as long as they're engaged, that's what matters. And that's what I got from the whole thing. And if you watch the end is actually bigger than the beginning. The beginning is the same thing we saw a day and a half ago. The end is showing Gears. It's showing Skyrim. It's showing Fallout. It's showing Doom Guy. Showing freaking Halo.
Yes.
Dude, sorry. Like they went all out at the end. I suggest you watch the end because I feel like we are going to get a new Vegas 2 because I feel like they were talking like that the whole time. We want to collaborate. We want to be the best we can be, no matter who's got the name at the end of it. It doesn't matter. We just want people to play our games. And the way Bethesda acts like with every, single entity inside of their realm is just, if you're a dev and, you're done with your part of that game, you can go and help somebody else. And that's what I felt like at the end. And it's the same goes for Xbox. And they've been doing that for, a little while, but Bethesda, I feel like has been doing that forever. And it's just like, it's a match made in heaven. I think we're going to get some amazing games. And that's the whole damn point. Can we get some amazing games or some games that would be like, well, Xbox has no games. Well, guess what? You could sit here and say they don't, but I've played a lot of games that people wouldn't even consider a game. And I've enjoyed them and I've loved them. So let's see what happens, especially with a dev that's technically older than me, by the way. I'm 33 years old. They were established in 1986. People, get your head out of your ass. And on top of that, id Software, 30 years old, and id comes from the original Doom team. The most of the original Doom team is part of id still to this day. So don't forget that these people are gamers, or they wouldn't be doing it anymore. I'm just saying.
I gotta say, like, when it comes down to it, this acquisition is absolutely huge when it comes to like first party and stuff. And one of the things that Crispy, you touched on was the id engine. Not only is Xbox getting all these studios with like, world renowned franchises and titles in them, but the software that is used to make these titles. You look at like the id Tech engine, and that created Doom, like that kind of like reboot of Doom and Doom Eternal. Can you imagine, like, say, I don't know, just take a stab at
Well, I will say this.
Hold on. Say Ninja Theory making a game using the id Tech engine, or even Double Fine.
Real quick, just to mind fuck you, okay? Because we're far enough where I can actually drop an F-bomb.
Yeah.
I will say this, okay? Phil literally said, imagine the Coalition 343 Ninja Theory using id Tech, because a lot of people think first person with id Tech. id Tech is actually more of an algorithm that's involved. The people don't understand that they have been developing this for decades. You know what I'm saying? So, he was super excited about this, and he was all in. And when he brought up Coalition, the Coalition, I mean, come on. Everybody looks at it and says, oh, Gears, the gameplay is not great, this and that, but the visuals are always there. But imagine making that better. And I think that's what his point was.
Yeah, I mean, that right there, when people were talking about Xbox should buy Crytek, a lot of people were saying CryEngine and Rise. You know what I'm saying? But now you're getting Bethesda. You're getting all these studios under ZeniMax, and you are getting the software that they use to make games as well. This is a huge, huge acquisition, and I'm absolutely speechless that they went this hardcore in terms of the exclusive nature, because they spent so many years with that whole pro gamer kind of like ideology, and kind of like switching up what some people in the community were thinking about when it came to Xbox. That I really thought that they were going to keep quite a few games, multi-plat, but create new ones, create new experiences, stuff like that would be exclusive to Xbox. Just all around, this is insane. And let's get Dark Optimus in on this. Dark, this is the news of the week, man. This is what everybody is talking about, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Twitter. There's probably OnlyFans, that they're talking about this as well. What is your take on this, man? We're hearing exclusive when it comes to Bethesda and Xbox. Is that the way that you thought it was going to go as well?
Yeah, dude. I mean, why wouldn't it? It only makes sense,
Because kumbaya, we want gamers to play games, wherever they are, man.
Anybody who thinks that is full of fucking shit, because these freaking companies, all they care about is the fucking bottom dollar, man. And if they do plan on putting their games on PlayStation, they're just gonna make more money. That's all it is. Because there's gonna be people who are gonna be like, "Well, I'm not gonna buy an Xbox because I'm a PS fanboy, so I'm gonna go and buy I'm gonna go buy PC or whatever." They don't care, dude. They don't care what you're gonna do, because guess what? You're gonna spend more money. That's all they care about. Is you're gonna spend more money. That's it. That's basically the gist of it, is that they only care that you're going to spend more money. And guess what? you're gonna be you might be happy with that. That's fine, but I for me, honestly, like every time I saw Bethesda and Microsoft like on their Microsoft stage, I could just always tell that they were friends. Like they you can tell, dude. Like even during that whole roundtable thing, you could tell that they were joking around, they were having fun. They sounded like they were doing like what we do on a podcast, like
Yo,
that's
Dark,
exactly
real
how
quick,
they sounded.
real quick. Yo, shout out to RG Viper X again hitting up that super chat. And I think he's talking about Sony in this. He goes, $70 games? Well, he says $70 games to PC. We believe in generations. Stop this trash. And as K Mega would say, send that shit to Hades.
But the thing is, I hear a lot of people say $70 games, right? But they think Bethesda would be $70 games. But has Bethesda came out and said that they were going to charge you $70 for their games? No, they haven't. So yeah, PlayStation exclusives, yes, they will be $70 games. Certain companies like Take Two and Activision, they're planning on giving people $70 games, but
Oh, that's company Sony really wants to keep. Take-Two and Activision when it comes to money. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like they're gonna make more money off of you. I mean, that's not. Yeah, but that's not only on PlayStation. That's also on Xbox too, dude. The freaking the NBA 2K this year was $70 on all consoles.
Yeah, well, but you don't have you don't have Xbox saying, okay, first party is going to be $70 as well. I think that was
right.
There,
there's a difference there. Yes, of course, there is a difference there. And of course, when I said the $70 on the consoles, it was the new generation of consoles, not the old generation of consoles. So I don't know, man. I mean, I think honestly, this is good for Xbox. It's good for gamers in general. I mean, because most people who game, and if you're a hardcore gamer, you have at least your console, your main console that you play on, and you probably more than likely have a PC that you can play these games on. So I mean, you're not really missing out on anything, and if you do feel like you're missing out on anything, then either go out and buy a PlayStation. Or I mean, not a PlayStation, but go out and buy a Xbox, or go out and buy a freaking PC. Like, and if you don't want to do that, and you feel like you're getting you're getting shafted or whatever, I don't know what to tell you. I guess you're just not gonna play these games. It's just not it. There's nothing you can do. I mean, if they decide not to go to PlayStation, they don't want to put any of those games on PlayStation, then there's nothing you really can do unless you get a freaking subscription to Game Pass through your PC or through your mobile or however you want to do it. You have options. There are options out there. Besides just PC and Xbox, there is the mobile market that they're getting into right now. I mean, it's not yet very easy to get to yet, because they haven't they put it on Android, but they haven't gotten to get Apple to come around. Hopefully someday they will, and I think they will. It's just I see a lot of people saying, oh well, Xbox and Game Pass, they're different entities, and it's like, no, they're all the same.
How did they become different? How did that happen?
It's like funny when people say, well, PC and Xbox are different. No, they're not. They're the same. They're the same thing. like they're owned by the same company. Like if most people who play on PC, they have but with PC, what do you use on PC? You use Windows, don't you? Yeah. So I mean, You know, I mean,
Good luck with
oh
that.
god, dude,
Oh
yeah,
my God.
yeah. Who uses Linux? You know, to be honest, you know, it's just unless you have like a Mac or something like that, then that's a different story. But if you have a PC, you're using Windows. You know, you're using Windows, so you're already bought into the Microsoft ecosystem then and there.
Now, with this acquisition, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, now Xbox has the most first-party studios out of anybody who makes a console. Am I right?
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Is it by a
yeah.
long
They do.
shot too?
I don't know if it's by a long shot because
Was
I'm
it
not
like 23,
sure.
like 23 studios now or something like that?
I'm not sure what Nintendo has.
That is true.
But I do know that it's more than PlayStation for sure. But that's the thing. Like people are sitting here thinking that PlayStation is just gonna go down to the shitter, and they're not. They're gonna be fine. They're gonna have their exclusive games that people enjoy, that most people enjoy or whatever, and it's gonna be fine. Like people make it seem like if Xbox bowed out of gaming, it would be a complete monopoly. Because guess what? Most of the games would just be on PlayStation or Nintendo. But guess what? Nintendo does their own thing, right? Everybody knows Nintendo doesn't
They
give a
sold
shit.
people
They do their own
cardboard.
thing.
They sold people
Yeah.
cardboard.
They don't care. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. But freaking if Xbox ever bowed out, it would not it would I mean it might be more like PC versus PlayStation, but then at that point it's like they're completely different entities, like at that point. Um but I just see this deal as being something good for everybody, to
Dude,
be honest. I don't see it being a bad thing for anybody at all.
This is insane. This is like history in the making when it comes to like the console space. You don't
Well,
see something.
I honestly don't think anybody really thought it was going to happen. I think a lot of people were thinking, oh, well, I could never see a Microsoft ever buying, a big studio like that. And today, and well, yesterday it happened and they got it.
Okay.
And so you either play those games on Xbox and PC or you don't play them at all. Sorry.
Got you. So, I'm gonna go back to K Mega on this because now, all right, it's a lot of information to take in, and I gotta watch the roundtable again, guys. I work 12-hour shifts and I work in a loud ass factory, and there was no way I was gonna be able to watch this when it aired. So, and then I came home and just started setting up the show. So, I still have to watch this roundtable discussion and see what's going on, and I will give you guys my thoughts and opinions on that, after I check it out. But we see that Xbox is not afraid to make major moves. So K Mega, if you had a crystal ball, what is next when it comes to Xbox and any type of major moves moving forward? Do you think that there's more to come? Do you think that this was it? They're pretty much done now. They're just going to develop it out with what they have. What do you think is their next big move, man?
I think it's going to be they'll get a couple of more acquisitions, and then everything else is going to be just dealing with partnerships and then just developing the games.
Well,
that's it.
You say a couple acquisitions. Are you talking like smaller studios? Are you talking an umbrella?
I still think that there's something like maybe a CD Projekt Red, Techland, something around that. I think that they're going all in. They are so aggressive right now, and it's just the fact that they have been put through the blender all last generation, and it's just like, man, they got when people said that that the head of Microsoft gave Phil the open checkbook, they weren't bullshitting. They were all about. They're like, look, man, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it all. And so, I mean, you already heard that they were trying to make the calls to WB, and then WB pulled back. But and the reason why
that's true, and that's all while this whole Bethesda thing was going on as well.
So yeah, if you go and think about it, there's when they came back, and that was just about a month or so ago, where they were saying, look, no, we're still trying to look at an acquisition on the same tier as what this is. I think that they're going to be looking for multiple, but it's going to cost about the same amount. Maybe not as much, but around that. So if you put it together,
studio it is?
CD Projekt Red is around what, 2 to 4 billion. And then you look at something else, maybe a Techland, something like that won't cost as much. It's, I don't know. I just think that the situations that's happened with CD Projekt Red has opened it up, and I don't think that the whole WB thing is out of the water either. But if they get WB, it's a wrap. I'm going to have to say that it's a wrap. It's a wrap, because that's it. Everybody's talking about Batman. Nah, man. You get Monolith, and now that WB is now. Well, yeah. Well, you like Fear, but I'm talking about that engine that WB is holding on to, that nobody can't touch now, which is the engine that's in Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. I forgot what it's
Nemesis?
called. The Nemesis engine. That's it. Like, I know Batman is like the big thing for overall for people, but no, to me it's Monolith and it's Warner Brothers. I mean, not Warner Brothers, but Mortal Kombat. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. And at that point, for what they got with Bethesda, they can sit here and they can let those games still be multi-plat and have the best of both worlds. And like, oh, Mortal Kombat's going to play on everything. Don't worry about it. Just go ahead and give me that money. You know, Batman could go and play. No, Batman will stay exclusive now because y'all trying to play hardball with Spider-Man. We'll see how you like that. And then we also got some work we doing with Disney over here. So when we bring that over, maybe some X-Men, something like that. Maybe a little bit of whatever. I don't know, but they got something they're working with over there. I have no idea. That thing to me is really interesting, because if you look at the stuff with
X-Men would blow up if that would be what it is. Oh my goodness, dude.
If NetherRealm, thank you. That to me, and then of course when you got NetherRealm, to me it brings you got the studio that can help start working on Killer Instinct, and then that's it. That's all you need. If you got WB and then say that you get CD Projekt Red, that's a wrap on that. Now, could that happen? That the percentages I would give on that is probably maybe 15%, 15 to 20%, because I still think that WB is still in play, because AT&T is still struggling overall. I just seen some stuff about that just a couple of weeks ago. They're still not doing very good. And when you go and you look at some other things like Techland, all of the stuff that they had, it was the same thing that it sounded very familiar, like what happened with Obsidian. And Obsidian came and says, no, Xbox, man, ain't nobody talking about that. And then what happened about a couple of months later? Man, we're so happy to be a part of the Xbox community. It's going to be great. So money talks, bullshit walks. And then of course the big elephant in the room, I think, would be Sega.
That's what I'm hoping for right there.
I would love Sega as a huge Sega fan. That would be fantastic. I think there's a lot more red tape with that. And then there's other people that's got a lot of hope and wishes for Capcom. I don't see that personally because of the debt, but I mean, they are in some big trouble, kind of like CD Projekt Red is. And if they can work a deal, and I know a lot of people, the main thing that they keep talking about is American company can't buy a Japanese company because of blah 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 blah. That's not true. And Microsoft already has got an established building in Japan, and it's been there forever because of Windows. So they can go ahead and they could do something with that. and then they would have the Japanese studio that they want, because that's the main thing that I think that they're missing is the Japanese studio right there. I mean, they have, if you really think about it, they have the Western RPGs damn near locked. If you can pull in a CD Projekt Red or something like that, it's beyond it's overkill at that point. It's overkill, because then you have what, you got 23 studios right now. You would have anywhere from like 25. If you get WB Games, you got 30 plus. It's just almost it's crazy to think. I don't think that they're thinking small. I think they're thinking really big. So those are the ones that I think that they might be trying to go after before this is all said and done in the next probably year or two.
I got you. Yo, Predator, man. What do you think? What do you think is next for Xbox in terms of moves and such? Because, dude, again, I didn't expect them to be so aggressive after they finalized the deal with ZeniMax, man. What's their next big move in your thought, your opinion? Yeah.
I think they're gonna get Ubisoft into Game Pass with them. That probably be the next big move.
Okay.
Talking about acquisitions. I don't know, like what K-Meg is saying about CD Projekt Red. There's a lot of people right now that are kind of like, under the red, just because of everything going on pandemic-wise and stuff like that. So I really don't want to sit up here and say, yeah, it could be CD Projekt Red. I think CD Projekt Red could bounce back. Sega is in play, like he was saying, a lot of red tape with that. I wouldn't be surprised if they started looking into some of the Chinese or Korean companies as well. Because there's a lot of stuff coming out of those places that we don't really hear about. I see some of the stuff on PC, but you don't really hear about it on the console space, but like, and then there's a couple of good games that we've seen. Wind Road. What's the other one, K-Mega, that we saw with the little monkey dude?
Oh, that's the Wong. Oh, I can't think of that. The Monkey King. Yeah, that game looks.
Fire.
Yeah. Wutong. That's it. Yeah, I think that is it. Wutong. Yeah,
it's Black Myth Wukong.
Wukong.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's a lot of good studios that like we don't really hear about because those games, we don't see them over here. Like, if you can't get a Japanese studio, I mean, not saying that they're the same, but like if you're trying to get into that market, those Asian games, I'll say it that way, like there's a lot of good Chinese developers out there. There's a lot of good Korean developers out there that we don't really hear about. And I know Phil has been to Korea multiple times over the past several years. So like, that's again, Crossfire, I think is a Korean company, if I'm not mistaken. Crossfire X was made in Korea. So like, I mean, one of those studios, I mean, I think we're all thinking like these big, huge studios like Ubisoft and stuff like that. I don't know if they're going to spend that kind of bread again right now. If they could find something in the 2 million range, I think they can go with that. But dropping 2 billion, whatever the fuck they spent on ZeniMax, it's got to be lower than that. I don't think they're going to go that big again. So
I don't know. The only thing with Sega would be all the franchises that are underneath them, and the fact that they have a mascot character as well.
Yeah.
That right there, put that all together. I think that's worth that money.
I look at Sega and I'm just like, and I know y'all are. I was a Sega fan back in the day. My first system was a Master System. I'm just looking at the games they've come out with over the past couple of years, and I'm just like, I mean, I'm not a Persona guy, so that's just me. But they have some good franchise, but like that's just me though. Like there's a lot of people out there who love that shit. So like I'm sure that purchase for them would be great, but I'm looking at like that's not really my cup of tea. But that's a personal issue though. Sega will be a good pickup though. I'm not gonna sit and doubt that. Just the historical stuff with Sega, all the stuff.
Dude, can you imagine them rethinking Golden Axe and bringing out a new one? Oh my goodness.
Well, like the thing is, like when you say that, like they got a lot of franchises now under their belt they don't bring back. Like look at all the Rare stuff that we've been waiting on. We're just not getting a Perfect Dark, coming out. But like
Conquer.
They don't really seem like Conquer. They don't really seem like they're really wanting to go back and revisit.
I don't think that's it, Fred. I really don't. I think it's because they couldn't. I mean,
it's
like I was saying
contractual
earlier.
thing.
No. I just think that the people that were in charge they didn't give two shits about Xbox like that.
Back then,
Like I mean, they just didn't care. And you see how far it's been, how long it's taken for Phil to get this party started from when he took over. Because when he took over, 2016 or something like that, 2015, 2016.
I think 2016.
It was somewhere around there, and look how long it's taking. Like just to now started seeing the fruit of the labor. Like I mean, the Xbox. There's been some great games that's come out, but like for those big AAA exclusives that they were talking about that wasn't Halo, Gears, or Forza. That's by then you would think that those games would, but it takes a long time for these games to develop or even to be negotiated and talked about. I don't think that those people cared back then. Matter of fact, I know they didn't because Bonnie Ross and so many others have said in interviews that the old establishment just had a different outlook about what Xbox, their vision of Xbox at that time.
The
thing with Sega, they have so many games under them. Like that would be some great Game Pass stuff. And I think what they're gonna look for something like that, like they're gonna go that route, like buy a company like that, they gotta have more than just a few games under their belt. They gotta have like a good, nice library. So I can see that happening.
Shinobi, but that they could bring back Shinobi.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Sega got some bangers, man. They just they got the same problem what Xbox has. I mean, I don't know. But but there was another game I just bought. I'm buying it right now. It's called Wan Yang 7. It's from one of those. It's from I don't know if this is Korean or Chinese, but it's the name of the studio is Sunstar Demo Studio, and it's a game that I just buying it on the PC right now. But I think Pred is onto something with that. I think he's absolutely right.
I do have 3. If you want to hear me, but
I was getting to you, brother. I was getting to you, but it's funny how you got. Oh, by the way, I'm here. You can talk to me now as well. Go ahead, Crispy. Same question, man. It's your turn, bro.
Techland. Because they announced that game like 2.5 years ago.
Is that really a big deal, though? Like,
yeah, it is. Dying Light is probably one of the greatest zombie / just visceral. Number one, the parkour in that game, still to this day, is bar none.
Oh, it's a very unique title because blending the parkour with like kind of like the zombie apocalypse type situation, and of course the daytime versus nighttime scenarios as well. It is definitely a refreshing title. It's something different,
And the only reason why I say that is because Techland has been very quiet, and it's been years. It feels like it's at least been. It's going on 2 years when they really. Showed us what Dying Light 2 could be. And all of a sudden they've been quiet. For some reason. Now, you could speculate, of course. You have Team Ninja, who's supposedly making the remake of Ninja Gaiden. You also have...
Hold on, where'd you hear that? They're making another remake of Ninja Gaiden?
You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
They're doing like the collection, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, they're doing a collection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're they're kind of revamping it. Whatever you want to call it. We'll see. We haven't seen enough. You have a lot of game developers that are in a tizzy at this point. CD Projekt Red is basically at the point where they are in a fight for their lives because the Polish government has decided that they are going to take them to court. And for them to go through that costs money, of course. It's a lot of things involved. But at the end of the day, are you going to make money, and are you going to be able to still create, especially for some of these people, still create the games that you want to create? And I feel like, it's like okay, get sued, possibly never make a game again after this and that, or we're having a bunch of problems. Like we've heard it about Techland, like bunch of problems internally that all of a sudden you start hearing stuff about that, like we don't know what we're doing, we're bleeding money because we continue to develop this game and we're trying to ride this old game compared to what we're trying to do now. And you can go and look at all these other companies, and the one thing that I feel like even on this round table today was that Microsoft wants you to do what you're good at. And for Bethesda come out and say, we are down for this because even though we're exclusive, we still get to touch so many more people than we ever thought was possible. And that's just them being gamers and wanting other gamers to play their games. And now being able to say, you know what? No holds bar. We are going all in on our vision. And it's not just about, what people think. And I feel like that camaraderie was there. And I feel like for an older gaming dev like Bethesda, you had id like do like a 5-minute piece about how they're excited about this and how then Phil came right in and was like, I am so excited to have them in the Xbox ecosystem. I feel like this was actually a love letter to devs to say, we want you to make something special. And the one thing we have is Game Pass. And it may not make us a ton of money, but for some people, they will be engaged and you will be a part of this ecosystem that may be far-fetched right now, but makes total sense. And you've watched it with Netflix, you've watched it with Disney Plus, you've watched it with everything else. The only thing is that this is about games. And I feel like that is an easy way to get devs to say, you know what? I'm not losing my job tomorrow. And we're going to sell, to Microsoft, but they're going to keep us intact. And I think that's a big deal when somebody like Bethesda goes and says stuff like that.
All right, let's get Dark in on this. I'm interested to hear what he thinks Xbox's next move is. We're still digesting this whole Bethesda thing, and it's kind of insane. I think the longer and longer we're living in this world, the more we're like, wow, like they really kind of they really hammered something home here when it came to the ZeniMax acquisition. But Dark, what do you think is next for them? I've gone on record numerous times, especially with Aaron Greenberg, petting a hedgehog on Twitter. Of course, the controller colors that they've been coming out with. There's a bunch of little signs that point me in the direction of Sega. But what do you think is their next big move here? Or if they're gonna have another big move at all, they might you might say that this is what they're doing and they're kind of gonna develop this out this way.
I think it'll be a little bit before they do another big deal like this. I think it'll be within, I think it'll be probably maybe not this year, but next year. I think they're gonna kind of try to see where they take it with Bethesda, but I think they will eventually have another acquisition. I don't know what it'll be. I mean, it kind of seems like it might be Sega. I mean, I heard Techland and CD Projekt Red, but I don't know.
Right,
I don't know if CD Projekt Red is really worth it for them.
Dark, I was going to say, which would be better? Which would be better in your opinion? CD Projekt Red and Techland, kind of like they acquire both of those, or Sega?
I would say Sega and WB Games. I think those two would be huge.
I
I mean, I know
WB
you
in there,
didn't
but
say. I know
okay.
you didn't say WB, but
I-
I'm saying WB.
you just
I
made it
think
a no-brainer with that one, man.
I think those two would be a lot bigger than CD Projekt Red and Techland. I mean, yeah, granted, Techland and CD Projekt Red are huge studios, and they do some pretty good games. I mean, yeah, granted, they CD Projekt Red, they did screw up, and they admitted that they screwed up with Cyberpunk 2077 on the old generation of consoles.
Oh, you
They
mean the
they
consoles it
admitted it.
was made for? Oh, I'm not getting into that. I'm not getting into that. My bad.
Um, I mean, it. I mean, they made their bed and now they're lying in it. So, um, but I think as of right now, I think it might be best if we do start seeing, CD Projekt Red going down the toilet. I mean, I haven't really seen much of them going down
How,
the toilet. I mean, they made one bad
yo,
game. I
Doug,
mean, it's not really like.
How is Christopher Hart still stating that Bethesda games are gonna be multi-plat? I don't understand. He said that Phil
I
said
mean,
this
Phil literally
Phil-
said if you don't have Game Pass or a Game Pass app or anything that provides Game Pass, you're not getting their new games. Now they're going to honor everything else, and that's basically what he said in a nutshell.
I don't know. You might
So
have to see it again because I don't think he exactly said that. I think he said more like we're gonna keep the acquisitions that are already in place, but also because he did say future acquisitions too. Because I mean, there might be some other acquisitions we don't know about with that PlayStation has deals on certain games that we don't know
so you're
about.
you're you're, talk, you're
Um,
talking about them making another acquisition.
No, I'm
'Cause-
talking about the games that they have contracts with on because they might have because he did say future contracts too because there might actually be other contracts that we don't know about that PlayStation has with Bethesda. So he was kind of beating around the bush a little bit though too. So I mean, there are I honestly I could see them actually putting games on PlayStation just so then they can make more money because they know they're going to make money because they know that people they know by now that people aren't going to like the PlayStation hardcore, the ones who are just die hard PlayStation, they're not going to buy an Xbox and they might not even buy a PC. They're that hardcore. So that I could see them maybe being like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe we'll put this game on PlayStation like a year or two down the line, and make some more money. Why not?" So I could see them doing that.
But do you feel
So,
okay? I
honestly,
will
why
ask you
not?
this. I will ask you this real quick, okay? Because the backlash of the Tomb Raider series
Mhm.
being exclusive, timed exclusive for Xbox, compared to multiple games being timed, if not infinite exclusive, even though they're actually third-party developers. Do you feel it's the same scenario? Because I feel
No,
like Xbox got a lot of flack for having the new Tomb Raider series
they
being
did.
basically, timed exclusive. And I
Yeah,
feel like it's almost better that Xbox says, you know what, unless because we've already done the acquisition and everything else,
but
the acquisition.
but
So I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm
but
saying is it would be better if they're like, every game that is not under a contract from another company is going to be exclusive. Can
I
we be
don't
fair
think
on
they're gonna.
that?
s- I don't think they're gonna announce it like that. I think they learned their lesson with announcing, putting, saying, "Oh, this game's gonna be timed exclusive." Because you notice that, like PlayStation, they don't say timed exclusive for Deathloop. They don't say timed exclusive for Ghost. Wire Tokyo. They don't come out and say it. We already know it's gonna go to Xbox and it's gonna go to PC. We already know that. I just think that they're at that point where they're not gonna say it, but it'll happen, and it'll happen at a point where they'll be like, oh, okay, well, the game's doing well still on our console, but hey, maybe we can put it on PlayStation and make some more money.
What
Why
you're
not?
kind of saying to me, Dark, right now is that Xbox is better off not being honest. Is that kind of what you're saying right now?
No, I'm not saying that they're not going to be honest. They're just playing the game. Then that's the business that's the nature of the business, dude. Is that
but for me as a gamer, I don't want a game. I want a game to be played that I can play myself. I don't want a game on the back end because I don't give a shit about these goddamn companies playing a freaking game. And that's the whole point I'm trying to make to you, dude. Like, it feels like
don't
it's
care
always
about your feelings, though. Dude.
I don't care
that,
about
right?
their feelings.
You
either.
know that, right? I mean,
I don't
that
care
they
about
don't
their
care.
feelings either. But one company is saying things like they should, and another one is not. And this has been going on for a long time now, and it feels like the lying has continued on one side and one hasn't. And it doesn't make me trust them to put my wallet down and say, okay, let's pull out the credit card and let's purchase this console, because that's the way I feel, because I've been on a console that actually hears me, that has actually done things to games I love
how did
and
we
made
get
them
into,
better.
How did we get into this conversation? Because I was just talking about, them, being like, hey,
I'm asking you a question,
we'll put those games on PlayStation, like PlayStation's been doing to Xbox.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's hold out as long as possible and not be honest when it's actually coming out. That's what they've done.
Yeah, well,
and they continue
that's
to
probably
do
the
it.
smart.
They've done
that's
it
probably
recently.
the smart way of doing it, because then
why is it smart though?
Because then it doesn't get the community mad.
It doesn't make me.
They're like, oh, okay.
It doesn't make me, as an ex-PlayStation gamer, trust them like I used to. I used to trust them.
You shouldn't trust any of these
Dude,
companies.
you shouldn't trust
No,
any.
I'm not
yo,
trusting. I'm not
these
trusting the company. I'm trusting how they're acting. That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Well,
you shouldn't trust any of that.
You
stuff,
shouldn't
though.
trust any corporation, because let's be
At
real.
all.
At one point in time, Xbox, they tried to like double the price of Xbox Live Gold. Like at a point in time where they were being profitable, like incredibly profitable, and they still tried to do that. So you don't trust these companies.
So instead of sitting here and making excuses, I fucking called them out. So I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, but I'm using that as an example to not necessarily trust these companies to begin with. Like when they're doing,
and all of a sudden it got changed, didn't it? Yeah, think about that.
They had to, otherwise they would have destroyed
the community
themselves.
Rallied together.
No, that's what you get wrong. They didn't have to do anything. They could have just rolled with it.
Yeah,
I mean, look how people got upset about the they wouldn't have destroyed them.
Oh yeah,
but people
weren't.
weren't.
Oh, come on. Wait a minute. Wait.
Hold on.
No. I'm just gonna make this point.
No. Let me just say this real quick. It's gonna be real quick, dude. I think what I see is that what you're talking about, Crispy, is that what Bot is talking about is the price hike. The community rallied together, not for us hardcore gamers who can afford it. We rallied together for the people who can't afford it, and we were saying, hey, this is wrong. You shouldn't do this, because this is for, we want to be able to play with our friends.
When I said that it's absolutely ridiculous that PlayStation is charging $70 for a game when the other console maker, that's their major competition, is not doing so. And on top of that, they have a platform, which is Game Pass, that you can get those games for a subscription service. Do you honestly think that I'm not going to keep that same energy when Xbox all of a sudden was like, what the hell? We're going to do this? And I'm like, what the fuck you doing? How about all those gamers that don't have your console? How about think about that? But I'm supposed to sit here as a non-PlayStation gamer and be happy about what they're doing right now? Because I'm not. I'm sorry.
You don't have to be
No,
happy,
yo,
but
no,
there's no one's putting a gun to your head and telling you to buy $60 games or $70 games. No one's saying that. No one's telling you, hey, you need to buy Ratchet and Clank at $70. You don't have to.
Well,
You can wait for a sale
It is
and get it
for your
on
head.
sale.
I mean, because come on, like, I mean, so people, I mean, that's the whole point of Crispy kind of was alluded to what I was going to say. Like, there's $70 games, and there was a lot of people. The internet was going crazy about it, and it didn't stop
Yeah,
the
it's
sale.
bullshit.
It didn't stop anything. So for just because there's a few 100,000 people that talks hardcore on the internet talking about that Xbox would have been in trouble behind that, they would have stopped themselves from getting the market share probably, but they wouldn't have doomed themselves. They're making too much profit. So that's the thing, and they would have made even more money. The thing of it is that you got to give some of these companies credit when they do the right thing. They came in, no, they were wrong, and totally, but they changed it. They didn't have to. That's my whole point, was that, well, they could have been doomed for it. No, they wouldn't have, because people would have still. Because it's just, as many people on the internet talks about video games, things like that. There are tons of people who don't, and they would have said something. They wouldn't even cared. They would have just decided to do it, or they wouldn't have. And that's as far as it go. But Xbox wouldn't have died from it. It just would have been crummy, and it was disrespectful to the people that
They
No,
put it at-
I
they
just
put
think
it
that
at
the
almost
community
the same
rallied
price.
together and said, hey, we need to not do this, because I think it's wrong for people who can't really afford to do it.
right. Yeah, there was
So,
just a terrible time to do that. You gotta
it was
let
just
people
a
know
terrible
about
time
that
to
stuff.
do it.
But it's the
Especially
same
since we're
thing with
going
the
through this
games. Yeah,
pandemic
like
too. You know?
like that's why I was looking at it like, damn, the games, PlayStation's trying to offer the games for $70, and people are, they trying to look
Yeah,
at work
it's-
and be at
I
home.
still think it's ridiculous.
No,
that
it's
they
And
charge
now,
ridiculous.
and
$70.
now they're using PlayStation Plus as a catalyst to say we're going to release this game at 70. Oh no, you're going to get it for free on PlayStation Plus. It's like, dude, where's the honesty? We're saying like, hey, this is not worth $70. Like, charge 30,
Well,
and then not put it on PlayStation. I would
but-
rather have that.
Well, does PlayStation need to communicate more? Absolutely, they need to communicate more. Will they? Probably
No,
not, because that's just how they are.
Well, PlayStation is known for shady tactics. All right, when it comes down to it is a part of their playbook. Even going back into the Xbox One, PS4 generation, their guerrilla marketing and stuff like that. It's one of the reasons why I don't necessarily like them to begin with. I don't think
But so was Nintendo at one point, and so was Sega at one point.
At one point.
Every company has been shady at one point or another.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No, he's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
From people that you're supposed to at least listen to, and they say one thing and then they do another, and we're not gonna sit here and be like Phil didn't say VR, high fidelity VR. We all know this, but I feel like
But VR is going to come to Xbox though. Now, I think it's almost inevitable now.
Hold on,
since,
is it going to
Bethesda's
come
there.
to Xbox One like Phil said, or no?
No, I mean,
No.
but what about backwards compatibility? Come on, bot. Like, I mean, if it comes, then you're gonna have to
But
sit
see,
here and just say,
that's
look,
my
man.
whole thing. I call it.
Come on, man.
I call it across the board. Like I don't. I prefer to play on Xbox.
But you
right?
can't keep beating
I
on a
can
dead
do
horse.
whatever
If they do something right after the mistake that they've made, and that's just human nature with everything in life. Like,
All
I
right,
mean,
well, but trying to double the price of Xbox Live Gold,
Well,
that's
and
not a
let's not
mistake.
say- let's not say PlayStation-
That was ruthless, is what that was.
PlayStation did
No, I
something
agree.
right.
I agree.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't leave behind the PlayStation 4 community.
No, right? Yeah,
You know what
they
I'm
did.
saying? So they did something right. I mean, I'm not, but it took. I didn't hear a lot of PlayStation gamers, talking trash. Most of the part was, "Oh, we're all about next gen," and it's like, dude, what about all these people that can't get this console right now? because I'm finding that on the Xbox ecosystem. Instead of Xbox saying, fuck you, they're like, oh, you know what? You could still play. And, there's some third-party games that I can't play. And whose fault's that? I don't know. I don't care. I just can't play them. So I called it out. But, PlayStation went all in on next gen. And then all of a sudden they changed their mind and everybody accepted it. And that's bullshit. Because Xbox the whole time was like, hey, we're going to support everybody. And then all of a sudden PlayStation's like, we're going to support everybody for many years after that.
Of course PlayStation said they're all about next gen, and then they come out with remasters, man. It's what they do. Like, we're all about next gen. Here, we should
not be like surprised at what PlayStation does.
But
to be
why
honest.
Can't we be mad about it? That's the whole point.
I didn't say you didn't have to be mad about it.
But nobody that plays a PlayStation's really mad about it. Like, come on.
I wouldn't say nobody.
If Xbox did that shit, I would be pissed. I'm sorry.
I think the reason why the PlayStation community is not mad about it is because they're a little bit more. They just don't care about that kind of thing, And I think the Xbox community is a little bit more, headstrong in a way.
Headstrong or smart? I mean, if you don't call them out, they ain't gonna do nothing about it, right?
Yeah, it's just but that's what he was saying basically is that there's just some people that just kind of they put their head in the sand and
just
because they enjoy PlayStation, they'll just overlook it. I mean, it's the reality of it. I mean, and there's Xbox gamers that do that too, because I know that there was some Xbox gamers that was trying to defend the shit that was with the money.
Yo, the one thing I'm really pissed off with Xbox about is the Upload Studio thing. Besides the Xbox Live Gold thing,
Hell
but
yeah,
they
dude, I
corrected
agree
that.
with
But
No
they
one ever
corrected
used
that.
Upload Studio.
No,
Get the
I
fuck out of
agree.
here.
I did. Fuck you, dude.
But see,
I
this is the
did.
thing though, Bot. You shouldn't be mad at Xbox about that. You should be mad at the people that was bitching about it, about that they wanted this, they wanted that, they didn't want TV or any of that other shit because they were the one because Xbox had to take away
This has
stuff.
nothing to do with TV or anything like that.
But
man.
it did because people was bitching about it. Like
gameplay editing. This is gaming at its core. No, I am gonna put it solely on Xbox and not people complaining about TV and stuff.
Oh my God!
Man.
Now Sue's sticking their head in the sand with that.
How am I sticking my head in the sand?
Because they're listening to people that
were
were saying that look, you need to get away from media and all this other type of shit and to get into and focus about games and all that.
Focused, man.
It's the same thing.
The same thing, dude.
It is. It's
dude,
the same
if it
thing.
was the same thing, we wouldn't have.
I will bring this around real quick. Just the interaction between Aaron Greenberg and Aaron, the VP of Bethesda. I feel like she's ruthless. She has a poker face about her, and she's ruthless. And I feel like what some people expect from Xbox, there's still going to be fan service. There's still going to be, we care about the fans and everything else, but she's also going to be very ruthless, and she's not going anywhere. She was sitting at the round table the whole time, and she was interjecting and talking to people. I feel like, Bethesda is going to bring something to Xbox because Bethesda's been, they might have been a huge company, but at the same time, they've always felt the way they've always done. And the only reason why they're with Xbox is because of this. And I feel like they're going to get people into Xbox and talking to these Xbox executives and saying like, look, this is not the way to go about this. And I think we're finally going to see some really good stuff. And that's my feeling. It might be far-fetched. It might be crazy, but I feel like, something's going to happen because of the respect involved between both companies over the past 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we're going to see things that we haven't seen from Xbox, and because they're under the same brand, it's really going to be Bethesda or ZeniMax, whatever you want to call it at the end of the day, behind the scenes saying like, look, dude, this is not how we do this. And probably one of the greatest E3 presentations I ever seen was the first Bethesda presentation.
Yeah, they went nuts
it
there.
was freaking awesome. I loved it. They brought bands there, but they brought real bands that you've heard before. They really they brought it all. They really did. And it wasn't a lot that you really saw, but you enjoyed the time you had with them. And I feel like Xbox can learn from that.
When it comes down to it, we could talk about a lot of things, but the main news piece here was the finalization of ZeniMax with Xbox, and that is an absolutely huge thing. If you are an Xbox gamer, you heard what they said. If your device, your platform needs to have Game Pass on it for future Bethesda games, and there you go. I mean, that is you can etch that in stone. All right, you can put that on a stone tablet and put it out there for everybody to see. That's pretty much what it is now. All right, it's something that I didn't think that they were going to do. It's something that a lot of other people thought they were going to do. It's something that people are going to downplay as well. But then there's going to be people who overhype it. But at the end of the day, it is a huge, huge piece of news. And if you are an Xbox gamer, you should be incredibly excited. I just downloaded The Evil Within. I never had a chance to play that game. I'm going to be able to play it through Game Pass. I saw 6 games were, or 12 games were slated in Game Pass. If you go into Game Pass and you're looking for a specific game that came from Bethesda, it's in Game Pass and it's not in in that part of the dashboard, just search the name out. It'll say Game Pass. I saw it with Dishonored 2. Dishonored Definitive Edition is in Game Pass, but I typed in Dishonored, and Dishonored 2 came up in the search with the Game Pass kind of like logo on it. So all these games are available for you to play right now via Game Pass. Guys, Game Pass is absolutely amazing. And I think they are getting to the point where if you're playing on Xbox, you don't need to spend money on a game at all if you don't want to. You have a subscription service that, a majority of these games are going to be on. And I think that's absolutely fantastic. But we did go overtime, guys. So I think it is about time to wind this show down. It has been absolutely insane. Huge piece of news tonight. And, the chat has been incredible. Shout out to RG Viper. Shout out to, of course, Blue Shell for hitting up those super chats. Thank you guys so much. But like a 40-year-old with a comb over, it is time to get into the intros. And I don't know, is Pred still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Wow, Pred, you said you were gonna back out early. You stayed late with us, man. I appreciate that.
Amanda.
But Pred, it's time for your outro, man. What you got for us, bro?
See y'all next week.
Nice. That's what it's come down to. Let's go to somebody who, he's got a list of shows that he's on, of course. And that would be our brother Crispy Bomb. Now, Crispy, you always bring the intensity and the energy, man. Absolutely love, getting together with you and the rest of the guys every Thursday, man. Why don't you let people know the other shows you're on and anything else you want to tell the crowd right now, bro?
I love everybody. Like, we could argue as long as you keep it, gaming. I mean, we can argue all day, but the one thing I will say is that, like,
he loves me until I beat him in golf, and then he despises me.
That's actually pretty rare, to be honest.
Ooh.
Usually you're not the winner. I'll just say that.
Wow. I'm gonna go cry.
But you'll blame it on us newbies. Just continuing to use the line and all that. So at Crispy Bomb on Twitter, Crispy Bomb 28, Xbox Live. We got tomorrow morning Brexel Boom, 10 a.m. and we got Retro Renegades Tuesday, 7 p.m. And of course, you can find me back here on the next podcast, 8 p.m. Thursdays.
Nice, brother. Prime time, baby. Prime time.
Prime time, yeah.
Yo, Dark man. You definitely got passionate tonight, man. It is always good to see that from you, bro. What do you got for us for your outro?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter, Knoxximus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And K Mega, freaking, what's that game that Xbox canceled?
Scalebound.
Scalebound is
Yes.
coming back like Locke is coming back to Halo Infinite, dude.
Oh well, shit.
It
That's a
ain't
guarantee
happening.
then. That's a
It ain't
guarantee.
happening. It ain't happening.
It's a guarantee then. I like that, man. All right.
No, I honestly, I think that would be one of those games that I would be like, yeah, that definitely could come back for sure.
Yeah.
Because there was so much potential in that game, but we'll see.
Oh, using id Tech engine. What?
Right. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. See,
But I feel like it would be a different game at that point, though.
It would have
think
it would be a different studio for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, and it would have its own different take, but the concept alone is just great. I mean, it's very original. So
nice. And with that being said, we got the man with the scroll, one of the hardest working content creators out there. You know, giving you streams, giving you podcasts. Of course, it is my brother K Mega. K Mega, are you ready to give the list out to people?
yeah, no doubt. All right, man. The GRG podcast tomorrow night. So far we have I always wanted to say Minchie, but you know what I'm saying. Minchie dies a lot. That's her name. She's going to be coming on. I'm trying to get my boy Rain to come on because I don't think Lemon's going to show up. You know, he's his birthday. It's his birthday, I think, tomorrow or Saturday or something like that. So I don't think he's going to come, but he might surprise me. But you know, because he was already talking about partying, so he might have been partying all this damn week. So regardless of that, come and check out the GRG podcast. This coming up tomorrow, this Friday, this week. And man,
isn't that the podcast where you insult your guest?
Yeah, when you come on. So yeah. Anyway, anyway.
No, Dreadpool was on. You said trash, and I was like, oh shit.
I didn't say trash. That's probably what somebody else said. But anyway.
No, you had that soundboard. It said trash, and I was.
Oh well, if it's from the soundboard, then K Mega didn't say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did say it. So it's probably something. It's probably what somebody else said. But regardless, anyway, GRG tomorrow. Will most likely probably be streaming Saturday. Don't know what. We'll be doing that tournament Sunday. Yeah. So well maybe, but at that point, then if we got to move around because you know other people are trying to talk about other stuff, then they should forfeit because I mean we're taking away our time as well. So hopefully that gets taken out. We were supposed to do it Saturday, but if not, we could do it Sunday. Hopefully get that all taken care of so we could go ahead and see who will get to the next round with that. Fight Night Sundays after that. And then, man, just back into it. Next podcast. We did Devin the Gamer the other day, so that's up on the channel. So go check that out. You know, me and Don always have some good discussions. And then, man, next podcast that coming following week, man, and that's it. Me just doing some streaming. Catch me just on Periscope or on Twitch or on YouTube, man. That's where you'll find me. Just doing my thing right now. I'm over here playing some 99 Nights. Haven't played this game in eons. Feels good, man. Feels good.
You rocking the 360 right now?
Yeah, I'm playing 99 Nights and 360 right now.
Well, brother, I will let you know. I actually have a couple things to let the people know about. And, you know, it was funny. Dark brought up Locke. I will, this coming week, I will be joining Four Guys with Quarters, doing an interview with Steve Downs. For people who don't know, that is Master Chief. That is the voice of Master Chief. And K Mega, I am going to ask him the hard question about Locke. What does he think happened in terms of kind of like, you know, what did he feel about
Betrayal.
what did he feel about the character, and what did he feel about kind of like the backlash from you know, parts of the community in terms of Halo 5 and the implementation of Spartan Lock. So
and Team Osiris. Don't forget to talk about the great Team Osiris, sucker. But yeah, do that. That'd be great.
So definitely tune into that, yo.
Team Osiris. Whoa, what's your mouth? Oh
Timo
man,
Duels, like non-alcoholic
They should have
beer?
just called that team Buck, because you know he was the best character on that whole entire team.
Oh boy, man! I tell you, man, I'm about to hit it. I'm about to hit something that I shouldn't hit by. On this button.
No. Yeah. If it's anything from before we went live, no.
Oh man.
No.
Anyway.
Yo. But yeah, so I'll be joining them. I believe it's Thursday, so a week from today. But it's not gonna mess with the podcast at all. So yeah. So I'll be talking to Master Chief Theo. Shout out to 4 Guys with Quarters with that one, and of course
no doubt.
We are in the Halo tournament, people. We beat NLG this past weekend, and now we are up against Mr. Boomstick's crew this coming weekend. Last time I checked, it was supposed to, you know, we started saying Saturday, but I believe Boom couldn't do it on Saturday, so we're supposed to be coming together Sunday, and so we're in that tournament. Yes. It's about to go down, people. It is about to go down. I cannot wait.
Go down.
But yeah, other than that, guys, yo, thank you guys for hanging out with us. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done it yet, hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. This is the home of the next podcast. Not only that, this coming Sunday, we should be doing the Series X podcast, me and Jamie Moran, a.k.a. The Elusive Gamer. I think we will have some things to talk about. And, yo, wow. Before we go off the air, there is another super chat. The friendly neighborhood Blue Shell hitting that super chat one more time. He said, for Xbot448 to be the hero in the Halo tournament and save K-Mega's life. You know that's what I'm built for.
Oh
that's
my
what
God.
Y'all better not look at the last match. That's how the last. Yeah, y'all better look at that.
The way K-Mega plays, he always thinks that his team is the other team. So
Better check it out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Dark. Weren't you in the tournament? You were in the tournament, weren't you?
no, I wasn't.
I kind of figured. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
They didn't call me because, you know, they
we know
can't
why they
handle
didn't call
the
you.
skill. They can't handle the skill, man.
Don't worry,
So
they'll call you
it's
for
a
the-
single player experience where you watch it just pressing the A button or the X button. It's not going to save your. Yeah, that's play. So
It's not a
if it
single player
didn't have a
experience.
CG reel for you to watch, I think you wasn't going to be a
Yo,
participant
Deck,
in that.
in terms of who's streaming the tournament, I will let you know. You can go to the Don KTR. I know he'll definitely be streaming it. I'm not sure if I'm going to stream it or not. It depends on how much time I have before to like set up a stream or whatnot. K-Mega, are you going to be streaming the tournament?
I don't know. I'm kind of superstitious because I didn't stream the last time and we did well. So I don't know. I probably will. I don't know.
Yes,
I know Don. I know Don will definitely do it.
He's very superstitious. He's actually wearing the same underwear that he had on when we beat NLG, and he's going to keep wearing that until we beat.
He's also wearing the same gym socks he wore in high school.
Yeah, they're washed. What's the problem? I mean, they're clean. So what's the problem?
Y'all smelly motherfuckers.
Oh man!
Yo, shout out to 108 Dragons.
Outro. There's 108. You gonna be on the show tomorrow? You gonna be partying?
108 Dragons hitting up that super chat. He says, "What's good, peeps? That won't happy Halo rookies."
Okay.
I read that word for word, yo.
He's
Shout out to
partying.
Casket Repair, yo, hitting up that super chat. What is up, brother? He says just spreading the love. Thank you, bro. Definitely appreciate that. All the support, guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, we're pretty much at
happy
the end
birthday, bro.
Happy birthday, 108. Yo, how's it feel being 52?
I thought it was
More like
60.
152.
Oh, my God.
damn. See, I opened up the can. They just busted the rest of the can
slander
wide
is
open.
real.
Man. Tomorrow is his birthday, by the way.
Yeah,
Guys.
like I said, he ain't gonna be there. So yeah, happy birthday, brother. So
But yeah, Dex. So hopefully you're on Twitter and you follow us. Me, the Don, and K Mega. You will find a stream available one way or the other, and we'll look to see you in the chat, bro. But thank you guys so much again for hanging out with us. This has been the Bethesda edition of the Next Podcast, and yes, guys, Bethesda is a first-party studio for Xbox. Go ahead, let that sink in. Savor it. Tastes so good, right? But guys, we will see you guys next Saturday for the next podcast. Have a great night.
balls of steel.
There we go.